Hey guys, welcome back. In last lecture we were talking about the basics of HTML. In this lecture we'll continue and I will show you connection between this basic stuff and our Vue application we are displaying here. Now let's start. Open your coding editors and for a change let's open our to-do application. So I will find here my to-do application in Sublime, so let's open this. Alright, let's open a new file. And recent, and maybe I will find here my to-do application, maybe not. Alright, so let's open. Let's find my Udemy projects. Alright, and Vue-to-do. Perfect. Let's open this and let's take a look on our application. As you can see, you can find here various folders and files, but what is important right now is src folder. And here we are writing our code into a playground.js, and a playground.js is called from app.vue. How it's possible that we are displaying something inside of our browsers? We don't have here even our index.html file, or maybe we have. Let's take a look into the public folder, right? And you can find here index.html, but it's pretty empty. There is no JavaScript here included, there is no CSS, there is just a div with the ID of an app. So what is happening? Now let's go to our browsers. And let's take a look here on this application and let's right click and view page source. And here you can see index.html document. Here we have HTML, here we have a head tag, here we have a link to our app.js. Okay, very interesting. Then we have here a body. We are just displaying some message here, but here is an important part div with the ID of an app. And script again with app.js. So after all, we are displaying some JavaScript. Okay, this is a Vue JS framework, and Vue JS framework is all contained inside of a JavaScript file. Okay, so all of this you are seeing in your page is rendered from a JavaScript code. You will display just basic HTML, not much, but you will include a big JavaScript file which is created from a Vue framework, and this will render this content on a screen. Alright, I will actually show you one wireframe. I have prepared this wireframe for you, and let's see how this is working. So this dotted line represents your computer. On our computer we are running our browsers, and when we are going to browser on localhost 8080 we are displaying this website you can see here, right? Very interesting. So down here you can see Vue framework. It's also running on our computer, and here is running something called the dev server in this Vue application. And dev server is running on localhost 8080. You can see it in your terminal. When you go here, when you're running your Vue application, you can see that your application is running, your server is running on localhost 8080. This node server you can imagine as application. This is basically application that it's running on your computer. Okay, you don't have access to this application right now. You cannot see it. It's included somewhere in these node modules, in these files, and it's running from there. But it's a normal application with a normal code. It's running on your computer, and when you are making requests, when you are going to your browser on localhost 8080, you are making requests basically to your own computer, and on this localhost 8080 is also running your dev server, your development application development server provided by Vue. And this development server will get this request, will say, okay, I got a request from a browser, it looks like I need to do something, and it will send back to a browser index.html file. Okay, and this index.html file you can see inside of your Vue application. Alright? But maybe you're asking, but I don't have here only index.html, I have here JavaScript code, I have here something app.vue, I have here main.js, I have here a playground, I have here different assets, I have here different components, and so on. How it's possible I get only one index file and just one app.js file? Explanation is very simple. Development server is doing various stuff for you. Okay, it's also compiling all of these files you can see inside of your coding editors. It's compiling into one big file called app.js. that it sends with index.html. So we are writing our code, we are creating different Vue components, we are writing different Vue code, we are writing code in a playground.js, we are creating different CSS and SCSS files, and all of this is taken by this application, by this dev server running on localhost 8000 AD, and it's compiled into one app.js file, and it's served with index.html that it's sent back to your browsers, and that's basically it. And this is what you can see on your localhost here. You can see here only one HTML file and app.js file. Alright, let's try to open this app.js file. You can just click on this and this should open this app.js file. So let's wait, it's opening. It will be slightly bigger and you can see it's slightly different as you are used to see your code. It's really huge code, and all of this, what you're writing into your components and Vue code and playground.js is compiled into this file. Okay, maybe for reading it doesn't make much sense, but it's running your code and it's working. So you can scroll here and maybe you want to see here some of your code. So you can find it here for sure. Let's go to our coding editors. And let's go to our playground.js and let's search here for some code we can find there. So for example, I would like to find transform hours to seconds. I'll copy this. Let's go back to your browsers. Control F to search. And let's search here transform hours to seconds. And you can see here is our code and here is a function. You can see your function, transform hour to seconds. It's taking hours and it's returning hours times 60 times 60. So our code is definitely here. Here you can see something, hello Philip, good job with coding. And all of our code resides here. Maybe it's not that readable as we are writing, but this is for a performance reasons, for development server, for a hot reloading and some other stuff. They are coming out of the box with development server, but that's not very important for us right now. For us, it's important that what we are seeing here is just a basic index HTML and some JavaScript code. Not very readable, but it's JavaScript that the browser understands. So that's very comforting actually. It's not something that it's magically appearing inside of your browsers and you are writing some code here, but it's really just compiling into this one app.js file and it's running inside of your browsers. Okay, so I'll show you something more actually. Yeah, since we are here, we can run build command and it will build all of our files here into one file or maybe two files. Let's see. So let's go to our terminals. And for now, we'll shut this localhost 8000 AD. And yeah, let's shut this down. And let's run here npm run build. And this is basically command for production. And it is will build all of your JavaScript files, your CSS files, and everything into one build file. You can see here is your app.js file, and here is your app.css file. Okay, let's open your coding editors. And let's see this folder. All of these files were compiled too. So let's open this, and you should find here index.html. All right, very nice. Now it contains something here. You can see here JavaScript files. You can see here CSS files and everything. And also you can see here your JavaScript. So here you can see JavaScript your files were compiled into. All right, you can see your JavaScript is not very readable. This is minifiled file and uglified file. So your variable names are renamed. Some spaces are renamed, everything is in one line, so it's smaller size and so on, but it's basically code what we are writing, just transform into something like this. And yeah, then you have your images, CSS file we wrote. Okay, so you can see these are CSS, but just in one line. Okay, so how can we run this file? As I showed you before, you can just run it in a browser, right? So you can just drag and drop it to your browser, or simply when you are in a Sublime or maybe in our other coding editor, you can just right click here and you can open in a browser. All right, and actually I'm sorry, it's opened it in my other browser window. So just give me a second, it's coming here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, you can see this our application. It doesn't look like great, right? It's just white. But when you inspect this, let's right click and view page source, you should see here this whole HTML file. But how it's possible that our other files are not run. As I told you, we are displaying this markup on the screen, all of these texts and images and everything we are displaying from JavaScript file, but apparently our JavaScript file is not loaded. Okay, so when you will inspect this page and you will open here network tab and you will see requests, there is a refresh, you will see something is wrong here. Our index.html was loaded, but our app.js, our app.css were not loaded. So this is because these paths to these files are wrong. They are wrong to run from a computer, but they are all right when you are running your application on some development server, as we are using on localhost 8080. So this would work if you would use some server, some development server or some production server. But when you want to run our application just like this, it just simply doesn't work, but we can fix it very simple. Let's go to our coding editors. And in case you want to run our application in our browser just from these files here without any application, without any server, we can just change the paths of these files here. So maybe I will make this bigger so it's visible. And everywhere where you see href or src, you can just add here ./css, for example, here. ./css, this means we are in the same folder, we want to navigate to CSS folder and we want to open CSS file. All right, and for example, here I would like to open .js folder. Here I want to open a link on a .js. Here I want to open here .scss, Here I want to open, let's see, I know it's not very visible, but you need to really search up for resources. Here I want to open .js chunk vendors, and here I want to open .js app. And this JavaScript, like this. Now when you will save this, let's save it, let's go back to our browsers. Let's refresh, and now we are displaying something here. Okay, this favicon icon is not displayed, and also logo is not displayed because probably paths to these files are wrong now. So we can also fix this. When I will click here on this and I will select this image, I can see path to this image. You can see this src image/logo png, and yeah, this is wrong path. This should be dot and a slash, right? I can edit it also here, and this will display this image. Okay, so maybe I can find this image somewhere in my JavaScript file, so I will just search here for logo, like this. Let's select this, let's copy this, and let's go back to our coding editors. And let's navigate to JS file, and let's open here app.js, and let's search here for this file. So I will search here for logo. You can see it's here. Here, there are provided already some variables here, r.p plus this path, but we know that this path is wrong when we want to run this on our computer. One more time, this would work if we would use some server, it would deploy our application to some server. This would work, but right now, because I'm running it from my computer, it's not working. So one more time, we need to fix this path. I will just add here dot and a slash image, and I will remove this in the front, this r and .p. Okay, let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. Let's refresh, and now you will see this will work. Okay, so I would like to show you one more thing. All right, before we'll finish this, let's go to your terminals. And let's run here again our development server. So let's run here npm run serve. This will run our development server on localhost 8080. And what I will do here, let's open a new tab. Control T or Command T, this will open new tab here, and let's run here command curl, and this will work only on Unix-like machine. So curl, and let's write here http://localhost 8080. Okay, so there is a path where our server is running. Let's press enter, and you will see now we are getting our HTML document back, but of course our terminal doesn't have a capability to run this document in a terminal and display its content here. Okay, so you can see same thing happening when we are going to a browser. We are sending requests to http localhost 8080. We are getting our document back, but this document is rendered. It's first parsed and then rendered in our browsers. Perfect. And on Windows machines, you can run similar command, I think. Let's go back to our browsers. And I think we need to Google for it. So let's say PowerShell send get request. Okay, and maybe here how to use HTTP GET in PowerShell, or you can just Google for it. And I think it's actually very simple. You can just send requests like this: invoke web request URI. Okay, you can try it out. Let's go to our terminals, to your PowerShells, and you need to just write here HTTP localhost 8080, and this should work for you. If you have any problems to run this, just write me, but it's not necessary for this lecture. All right, let's go back to our browsers, and I will close this, and let's go back to our localhost 8080. And as you can see, our application is running on 8080. We are getting our HTML document, and it's rendered here. Alright guys, so that should be it for this lecture. By everything I just said in this lecture, I just want to explain you that there is no magic happening here. All of the code we are writing is inside of our browsers, and it's executed here. In the future lectures, you will see that we'll be writing different Vue components. We'll be writing code inside of a src folder here and in Vue files. So we'll be creating Vue components. I will teach you various stuff about the Vue, but in the end, what you will see here is compiled into this JavaScript file, or when you're writing style, this is compiled into CSS file, and it's served into your browsers. So don't be scared of coding. Don't be scared when you see different syntaxes. Always make sure that you understand what's happening on a high level, and maybe then you can go into bigger details. If you have any questions after this lecture, I would be happy to answer you, so you can write me on Udemy chat or in a Slack channel. And guys, that's it from this lecture, and I hope to see you in the next one where I'll be coding again. Cheers guys, and see you there.